This show is brought to you by DF Studios Limited. Whether you're a business owner or entrepreneur, DF Studios will guide and assist you on the best ways to promote your brand digitally, in addition to creating visitor and customer generating content like blogs, social media posts, videos, and even podcasts like this one you're listening to right now. Visit dfstudiosltd.com or hit up info@dfstudiosltd.com for more info. And last but not least, let's talk about Creed 3.
Sure.
Ricardo, if you don't mind, I want you to do the synopsis for this, right? So
Okay.
I'll begin, right? So when we started this podcast journey, when we were doing BS Beats and Bailey, one of the films that we talked about was Creed, right? Because we
Right.
started in 2015, right? And
I
yeah, I actually
I
like
gave that a
that
re-listen though. I gave
yeah,
that a
like
re-listen.
well, in editing it, I re-listened to it. I will lie though, you were talking a lot shit though, but yeah,
No, but like
you were like real enthusiastic about that shit, man. I will lie.
no, but like I give it a re-listen, but like I kinda call a couple things though. Like
Yes, like what
projected
you said about
Dread.
Ryan Coogler, Jen, I was like,
Yeah,
what?
Dread. Like, all
Like
right,
you,
it's
yeah,
worth it.
like it was prophetic. It was literally prophetic. So
Yeah,
folks,
little
if you haven't
professional
checked it out,
word
we
expression.
mentioned that because of Ryan Coogler's work on the first film, we were like, yeah, he is a definite shoot in to direct Black Panther, right? And well, so
Right.
said, so done, right? And I'm
Right,
gonna
no?
talk about Ryan Coogler here in this, right? Because this film really feels like the torch is being passed to
Yeah.
Michael B. Jordan, even though yes, the previous film was directed by, let me see, by
Stephen Cable
Stephen
Jr.
Capel Jr., right? Who right
Right.
now is about to release, Transformers. Wait this
Swords,
way.
right. Beast Swords. Well, Beast Swords.
Yeah,
Beast
well,
Swords
yeah,
2.
essentially Beast Wars, right? But yeah, I mean, we absolutely enjoyed Creed. I did see it again a few times, and yeah, absolutely love it. This was a
Yeah.
show that really like officially introduced me to Ludwig Göransson, right? Yes, I know he
Right.
worked on Fruitvale Station, but the score that he did for this though, especially that theme song, is one that always, always, always brings me to tears. Where it's something so majestic and beautiful about that song, right? And
Yeah.
even better is the spaghetti western kind of style to it, right? But yeah, Creed was just fantastic, though. It just set up this brand new character in the world of the Rocky series.
Yeah.
Adonis Creed, played by Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah.
It and this and the second film really brought closure to the character of Rocky Balboa, right?
Right.
Especially the second one, right? And yes, Creed 2, admittedly, is not better
Yeah,
than
it's
this
a
one.
it's a weaker it's a much weaker script, but I still really like Cable Jr.'s directing. Uh,
Yes, yes.
I thought his directing was solid, but the script was really weak, and they really could have punched up the script because everybody said it should have been about that fella now. What's his name? Drago now.
Drago. Yes, yes,
Yeah, well,
yes.
the son now. They
Yeah,
should have focused on the son more. But
Victor.
yeah,
Yeah, and
Victor,
yeah,
right?
that was a big criticism I had rewatching it because yeah, I
Yeah,
recapped it in preparation for this. Because yeah, all you really know about Victor Drago is that yeah, he's the son of Ivan, and people looked down on Ivan, so people kind of looked down on Victor, and Victor feeling a kind of way because
yeah,
he wife Bridget, sorry, well his mom Bridget Nielsen don't want anything to do with him, right?
yeah,
Like there were moments, and I was watching those moments, right? I was like, yeah, you could have fleshed this out just a little bit more, man. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
But in this case here, well, we introduced a new character now, by the name of, let me pull it up,
Diamond
Felix
Damian.
Chavez. Well, we will get to him. We'll get to him.
Okay, okay,
Felix
right, right,
Chavez, right? Who
right, right,
is
right.
now heavyweight champion. Um, he and all get more character development than
Um,
Victor, I must
Victor,
say.
yeah,
But I'll talk about Victor in this, right? But
yeah.
yeah, the big sell of this show, of course, here, Creed 3, is, well, Kang versus Killmonger, because yes,
Right.
Jonathan Majors, who plays
I don't studied how much people
Anderson.
from the MCU in this though, like was from through this. So both the song these it's not song the well he went on to the MCU, Kugler himself and Ting though, and the music man though. It's like, oh, that interesting. And then well Majors coming, like it's such an interesting link in itself now.
Right, or like this is kind of like a branch off point now to
Yeah.
this. But what would be interesting though, just going back to Victor Drago. Okay, yeah, the actor who plays him, I realized that he was, well, shockingly, he was in Shang-Chi. He was
Right,
raised a
right,
fist. Like, I mean, you're
right.
right. Yeah, this is the springing off point for MCU work, right? Because I
Yeah.
mean, look at Tessa Thompson. I mean, she
Tessa
was
Thompson, right,
Valkyrie in the Thor films, right?
right.
But yeah, this is the film where we're seeing the character of Damian Anderson, aka Diamond Deem, right? I love that
Mm-hmm.
nickname, by the way, right? And yeah, well, as you'll get into, you'll see just how personal this new rivalry between him and Adonis is, right? But I'll just close with one last point, right? I'll bring this up in my review here. This is actually, well, slight spoiler. This one does not involve Sylvester Stallone, right?
Yeah,
And I hear there was some kind of chicanery behind the scenes where I don't know all the full details, but apparently, like Stallone wasn't satisfied with the fact that he doesn't have a major role to play in the series. But I
right,
think that he is executive producer for this one here, so I don't know what really going on. But I think where Creed 2 ends now, and I love the ending for that too, where yeah, he reunites with his son and his grandson. It's like, yeah, that's the end of Rocky's story. We don't need to
yeah,
see any more of that. Let's focus on Adonis
exactly,
um and Bianca and their daughter Amara, right?
right.
I'll talk about Amara as well too. Yeah, let's just focus on the creeds, like the Balboa stuff done, you know what I mean? But I know that there are some people who will criticize, why we didn't get Stallone and Stallone could have been in this part. I was like, nah, not really, not really. He do his thing, he did his thing, right? But yeah, anyway, Ricardo, take it away. Creed 3, what is it about?
Right. So basically, it's well, we get a flashback with Adonis, with Donnie and Diamond, well, the Dame, and you learn he's the boxer, right? Long before Donnie even knew that he was connected to Apollo, or knew he was Apollo's son. Yeah, Diamond was the person going up to box, and well, they show, I forget the actor from, oh gosh, the coach now. I forget his name from thing. He was there back in that time in the flashback. But some things went wrong and alright, and Diamond make a jail, right? And the way it's framed as if he make a jail, he sacrificed himself for his friend now to make a jail, and then well, Creed went on to become, his life. His life is amazing. He had his struggles, but he went on whilst Diamond make jail, so he come back in his life. And then, well, Diamond kind of harboring some, bad feelings. And, well, it escalates from there. I really like this movie, but I didn't love it. Really liked it. Uh, Not as good as the first, better than the second. Almost as good as the first, but it had a couple of missteps and hiccups in the plotting and the framing of the story that hold it back. And to me, the only distinction is really the difference between Kugler and Michael B. Jordan. Michael B. Jordan, this was the first time he clearly pulled from Kugler, as you mentioned, with him passing the torch. Clearly copied Kugler, but it just the talent not there, and I felt it could have come a little better. And the good things, which is his unique style, it might be a slight mistake, but I thought the fight was a little weaker. But it's more a style choice, I realized, because my boy just straight up do Hajime no Ippo. He's a big
Yeah,
anime nerd,
yeah, yeah.
big damn anime nerd, and we get the anime fights. But the problem is that stuff don't translate too well to live action, and I felt he should have balanced it a little better with the live action to make the fights work better. So because it feel like an anime fight. That was the problem with the fight. The fight didn't feel as strong.
Okay, okay.
It
I,
just feel
I I have my own criticism about that fight. But I'll get to that just now.
right. And yeah, it's a lot of stylistic choice that I don't think work as well as as intended, but it's still good. Like it's still pretty good for what it is and what you're going for and trying to do. So yeah, that's how I feel about it. There's a couple things in the plotting that was real clumsy for me. There's one thing that I was like, if you think about this and do this in a certain way, that don't make no sense, sure. Like that was one of the big problems I had with it. So that's about it. Still good though. Still pretty good. You gotta get into spoilers if you want to get into that thing, but whatever.
Yeah, well, I guess we may get into some minor spoilers, but nothing too major, folks, because it's better. Sorry, that you're going as blind as possible, right? So for me, I absolutely enjoyed this too.
Yeah,
It's not as great as the first one, of course, right?
right,
But it fixes some mistakes from Creed too, because I felt like certain
right,
things were more or less forgotten. I will bring up one in a bit,
right.
because we had to get the story rolling and whatnot, right? But just to touch on Michael B. Jordan's direction, I think as a debut, yeah, this was fantastic actually.
Yeah,
Not perfect, mind you, right? But you could tell that his work on sets over the years, especially with Ryan Coogler, what I mean, with both Creed and well, yeah, with Creed and Fruitvale Station and Black Panther,
Yeah.
yeah, you could tell that he kind
It
of
rub
knew.
off.
Well, yeah, it rub off from him. He knows his
Yeah.
way. He actually like come through with some really like solid shots though. I must say,
Yeah.
there's one in
Yeah.
particular involving like him as a kid running, and you just seeing
Yeah.
like his silhouette on the street. Like I watched it, like God damn, that look real good though.
Yeah.
Like, and even the framing of it I thought was great, right? I'll talk about the fight later on, right? But yeah, I thought like direction wise it was strong though, especially in the fighting, right? Because yeah, if it's one thing when it comes to boxing films though, you don't have to reinvent the wheel, but it's always great when somebody could actually do that, right? I think that he does a solid job with that, right? Like it's
Right.
no raging bull, right? But you could tell that all right, I want to do something a little bit different, so let me try that. Let me do a little slow mo when it comes to certain punches. I like that, like
Yes.
just the timing of it as well too, right? The fight itself, right? The final battle, right? That's what we call it. So yes, there's a moment that kind of switches into like a somewhat anime style. Well, what
Good.
we mean, folks, like it's not like hand drawn or whatever like that, right? It's just like
No.
they in the
The
own world.
genuine world, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like something you might see out of a martial arts film, right? Where
Right.
it's like they're just in their own universe, and like all the sound, everything is drawn out, and they're just in the ring and they fight and whatnot, right? Um, that's so some people might find like might not enjoy that moment though. I absolutely enjoy it though, especially
Yeah.
just
I dug it.
from a visual standpoint, right?
Yeah.
And there's like some slow mo moments at work though. I was like, yeah, you could tell he drawing from anime, right? But
Right.
there's just one nitpick that I have with it though, because I was telling myself because if you know, well, slight spoiler, ever so often there would be like a use of color, like it would just like a different color that would show up at certain moments, right? So I did tell myself with every color change, it's a new round, right?
Right.
But they do that like about 3, 4 times, and then all of a sudden it goes back to normal, and they say, "Oh, we in round 11." I'm like,
Right.
what?
That's another thing. I find the
Like
pacing.
nah, like you
Yeah.
know, I should not have to rewatch that scene and be like, "Oh, well, this is where round 7 was, or round 9 was."
No, right.
No, you had to show
I
me
thought
visually
I thought
that
that
this is
fight
the rounds. You know?
yeah. No, I agree. I thought the pace and the fight was so weird because I thought it would have feel like a long bout now over time now, and it didn't get at
Exactly.
all.
Like I understand what he might be thinking in terms of time. Michael B. Jordan might be
Nah,
thinking in terms
yeah,
of time, but still, like,
yeah, they
and
rushed that.
I
Yeah.
have to say, even the last film kind of did that too. We have to
Right.
kind of run through, like, once they get past like the third, fourth, like once they get past round 3, then we just had to run through everything and then get to
Yeah,
round 11. They do that here again, man. But I
yeah,
thought here was like a moment where, yes, those moments were short and you could tell, okay, these are the shots, like punches that matter now. But
yeah,
still, you could have let it run this a little bit more so we understand, and then you just keep building, building,
yeah,
and then when they reach 11, be like, all right, we feel that, you know what I mean? But that was like a missed opportunity there, right?
yeah.
But yeah, you could see this is where Mike was just being unique, trying to put his own creative spin on the boxing genre, and yeah, this is
Right.
something that people remember. I don't think a lot of people will pick up on it. They might think like, all right, why are we doing this? But nah, if
Yeah.
you really look at it close, it's like, yeah, that's how it should be. In my opinion. The story I thought was very well handled. I must say, though, I love
Right.
the opening of it, where you see young
Well,
Dean and young Adonis.
what it
I'll
did
talk about
well.
music in a bit, but go on.
I thought right, so I thought it was a super predictable. Like I remember like I was listening to my old review of Creed when I thought it was like real straightforward, cliched kind of story, but well done cliched. This
Yeah.
carried that a more extreme, much simpler story, right? Much more
It
predictable.
is. Yeah.
But again, the charisma between Majors and Jordan and what make Majors work as a villain is that two things. They mix him as a somewhat sympathetic villain, but they also frame him as a good what's the name of that boy? How I just call him boy? I call it a howling man archetype villain. Right? You remember that old episode of the Twilight Zone where the guy is the devil and he tell him, look, don't free him, no, he's a problem.
All right. Yes, I
He'll fuck
remember
you
that.
up.
Yeah, that was a dope
Right.
episode. Yeah.
That's why it's called I call that type of villain like that. Don't like he's sympathetic, but don't fuck with him. And I think Wood Harris was basically Mickey in this. Remember Mickey with B.A. Baraka. Same
Yes.
thing. Like, don't mess with this man. The man is a problem. He could cause more problems than he could solve. And I really felt the script missed opportunity with that. Because when they revealed something about Majors, well, what Majors did, that I felt they could have do something smarter to make that work. But they just brush over it as if nothing happened. I was like, nah, boy, like that's a real important thing though. Yeah. But whatever. They still really make it work. Major's charisma and Jordan charisma just hold it together. And
It does. Yeah.
the
They do. Sorry.
charisma burn through the material. To as I say above the material now.
Yeah.
And that's why
You
it's
were
safe.
excellent in this. So.
Right. But I still feel I hold it back, to be honest. But whatever, it's not a
All
big
right.
problem for me. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so that's a touch on music, right? I was actually surprised. Like the moment I heard the song, I was like, all right, this is the setting, right? Which is Ellie, right? Can we hear Dr. J the Watcher, right? And
Right, right.
points for actually leaving the N words intact. Okay, take it's a
Well, I mean,
PG-13
well,
movie, and white
yeah,
people
it's
gotta watch
TV
it,
show
but
shit.
nah, let me hear some ends, man. Let me hear some ends, right? But yeah,
Right.
perfect choice of song, but here what make it really good though. Um, so just going into music here. So prior to me watching the film, I started listening to the official soundtrack for Creed 3,
Okay.
which was dropped by none other than Dreamville. So yeah,
Right, yeah,
J.
J. Cole,
Cole
right. It's
and
all J.
Gang
Cole
come
stuff in
through
this, yeah.
and drop some fire, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So he has a song, right, called Adonis Interlude, the montage, right? And
Right,
that song uses the Watcher beat. But
right.
how they flip it was real good though. And it's this 1.5 minute just you know, barn burner of a track, right?
Yeah,
And it's J. Cole, right? He don't fuck up a verse, but yeah,
yeah,
he come through and burn through that. So
yeah.
yeah, that is the song that you hear during, well, Adonis's montage, right? Okay, you also have to have some kind of really dramatic song that plays there
Yeah,
and it
that
moves,
hype you
right?
up here.
And yeah, I would say like the montage totally works. I saw little cues from Rocky 4 as well. Near the end, and I was like,
Right.
yes, I love that. I love that. They even have the typical anime thing of the character hitting a tree. We just keep hitting until the knuckles bleed. They do that shit. I was like, would, but I didn't expect that they would use J. Cole's song in it, and it absolutely works, right?
Yeah.
They actually incorporate a few songs from that soundtrack into the movie. The one that I noticed was Anthem, which features Big Sean and SG, right? That's the
Yeah.
song that they play, in the fight itself.
Yeah.
The confrontation, right? Because Damien is from Crenshaw, they big up a certain Crenshaw rapper.
Okay.
And that's
Nice.
like that's like the song that they use for this, and it's perfect. I love
Yeah.
that, right? If it's one thing the Creed series nail boy is these entrances where like still
Yeah.
to this day, the first entrance for Creed in part two with with Gene Smith's Icon. That
Yeah.
still give me chills, That is like
Yeah.
still the best use of Icon I have ever like seen in film though. I love that, right? But yeah, and even right down to the new character Ricky Chavez, right? Yeah, Felix Chavez. Yeah, he have a great entrance though. I will lie though. I didn't recognize his song, but yeah, his entrance was great though. And they actually get McGill Salinas Leva. If you remember her, she was Gloria in Orange is the New Black. Yeah,
Right, right, right.
she played Felix' mom. I was like, hey, I know you.
Right,
I
right,
know.
right, 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 right. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Um, few things. Speaking of mom, though, I'm glad to see Priscilla Rashad show back up
Right.
as
Right.
Marianne. Um, what I will say though is that I like what they did with her character. They give her more to do here, and I like, without spoiling anything, how it connects to
Right.
Adonis' father. I really like that.
Yeah.
If I just have one gripe though, is that there is one key moment involving her that I felt they just sort of rushed through. Like it was still a powerful moment, but I just felt like we just could have gotten a little bit more out of it
Oh,
though. But
yeah.
it
I know
was
what
it
you're
was
talking about.
it nearly brought the Mantes out of me though.
Right.
And yeah, talking about Mantes, I won't lie. Again, similar to the last two films, 12th round, boy.
Yeah.
Somebody 12th round, boy. And then when the Rocky music hit, you know what song I'm talking about? When that hit, boy, Mantes,
Yeah,
it
it had.
always happens, boy. It's magic, right? I like that they give Wood Harris more screen time in this though. You know what
Right.
I mean?
Right.
Yeah, and I like that he was an integral part of the film because yeah, he
Yeah,
was like,
yeah,
yo, don't
exactly.
bring in Damien. Who is this guy? This man is bad news, blah blah blah, right?
Right,
So I
because he
like
was
that.
there back in the past. He know Damien. It's not like he don't know Damien. He know Damien. We saw him in the
Yeah.
past,
We
right?
well we
Yeah.
saw that in the
In flashback.
flashback, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And also points for bringing back Victor Drago. You know what I mean? I thought that was
Right.
real cool.
Which I find was it's kind of a stretch, but whatever, it's fine.
Well, it's well,
It's some purpose,
given
but still.
where Adonis is right now, right? Because in
Right.
this case he's retired. He doesn't run, the gym that well Wood Harris's character is, but he have a brand that's aligned to that gym, and the
Yeah.
man living it up and he cool, right? So just to touch briefly on the family, I love that the fact that they give McGill, Tessa Thompson, more screen time. I
Yeah.
love that where she's at in her life, that she's a producer now.
Right.
She's not doing the singing thing much anymore because of the
Right.
hearing aid. That make a lot of sense. I love that.
Right.
And she actually starts your label because Creed, right? So she have money, right?
Yeah.
But Amara Creed though,
Right.
she is
Great addition.
just so adorable though.
Yeah.
And they actually addressed something that the last film was hinting at, but they didn't, right? Which is okay. is she gonna hear? Because they asked that
Right.
question the moment that
There's
she was
a
born,
yeah,
right?
there's a
But
genetic
they
thing.
kind of gloss over it now. Unfortunately, there was a moment where you saw Creed was had to take care of the child while Bianca was out there, and he ended up calling his mom for help now. But like they could have a little moment where eventually we would have find out if she was deaf now. But this film pretty much answers it, right? I
Yeah.
love where they set it up here, where yeah, she wants to follow in her dad's shoes, right? And I suspect that one day I do
Maybe.
hope that we don't have to wait extra 15 years for this. But yeah, Amara
Right.
could have she own little series as well, right?
Yeah, they could do
And he actually
a
brings some
little
some
time.
female
Yeah.
wrestlers into I'd say wrestlers, right?
Box
Fighters
office.
into this, right?
Well,
Well,
we
hell,
could
she
get
could
we
be
could
a
get the
mixed
whole
martial artist for all we know.
yeah, when we could get the whole like Leila Ali aspect of that, right? If you know, right, Leila Ali could something like that. So yeah, they could do the female boxer thing. We could see.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
last thing last though, yeah, I mean Michael B. Jordan crushes it once again as Adonis.
yeah,
Jonathan Majors, he kills it in this too. Like,
yeah. He's good.
like how a lot of people will say, he's the best thing about Quantumania. I
Right.
would say that he is one of the best things about this movie, right?
Yeah,
'Cause, yeah, I would put him alongside Adonis too. I love the amount of characterization that they give both characters, right? Especially Adonis too. Like you could really accept where he's at in his life. You could understand why he doesn't want to step back into the ring. You know what I mean? He actually had one of his dream bouts basically, and it's with the same guy from the first film. I was like, all right, okay,
yeah.
that's kind
Hmm.
of weird, but all right, I like that. Um, and the circumstances which lead to him facing Damien make a lot of sense.
Right.
And I especially love
It.
how the
I have
movie
one
ends.
problem with that, but again, that'll be a spoiler.
All right, all right. Well,
Yeah.
well, I take how you do. I take out the way you talk about, right?
Right.
Where basically somebody does something and that leads
Yeah.
to a person being ousted from the match, from the
Right.
main event now, and
Right.
that's how Damien sort of squeezes his way in, right?
Yeah.
It's interesting, right? But I felt like like the reveal itself. I wish that the reveal wasn't done in the way that it did it there. It would have been
Yeah.
really better. It would have been better, sorry, in my opinion, if Damien was the one who revealed it. It's just like, oh well, by the way, this happened, right? Or here's this thing, right? That's all I'll say without spoiling it, right?
Yeah.
And one more thing, I was surprised that a couple more things. Sorry, I was surprised that Ludwig Göransson didn't do the music for this, right? They
Right.
actually got Joseph Shirley to work on this. First time I'm hearing about this guy, right? But I thought, like, music wise, he did a really solid job. He did a solid job, right?
Right.
He's actually part of Göransson's team, so he worked on the first two films with Ludwig, right? So you could tell that he knows his way around the music for this. I thought that he did a great job, right? And last but not least, speaking of carrying the torch, too. Passing the torch, sorry, right? With from Ryan to Michael into the direction. Is it just me, or the closing title sequence clearly, without spoiling much, inspired by that one MCU film that Ryan eventually worked on? But what they do here, I thought it was clever, right? There's a little cheesy, a little animation, but it was clever, right?
Yeah.
Um, where essentially, even though Rocky is not part of the picture, not part of the world anymore, they incorporate him, visually into what we see here in the closing title sequence.
Right.
It's like, all right, okay, all right,
Yeah.
I
It's
like
fine.
that. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I like that. I like that. I like that. But you could tell that it's pulling from Black Panther, like just the way
Right.
how the characters move and the camera angles and all that kind of stuff. Even right down to showing a friggin' bridge and all too. I was like, yeah, this
Yeah.
is Black Panther inspired though. But I
Yeah.
actually dug it. And the song that they play here, that's the final track off of the soundtrack itself, Blood, Sweat and Tears. Yeah, that was a dope song. It's an Afrobeat, hip hop song, but it works. It
Right.
works, right? So I dug that. So yeah, and for me though, I absolutely enjoy this. I had a blast watching this on big screen. It's a shame I didn't see it in IMAX, but I would have enjoyed it on the same, right? I just love that, this is pretty much a film scene that yes, this is the Creed series now. Rocky did this thing, but now this is the Creed series. And yeah, I can't wait to see what we get next with part four, man. Because yeah, we're gonna get a part four, right? Um I don't know how much uh, you know, Stallone is going to be a part of the series going forward. But I mean,
Right.
it's a series that he helped. It's pretty much he created it. So I don't know what chicanery going on behind the scenes, but I think he should just kind of bury the hatchet, understand how the business of Hollywood works, and just move forward, right? Do what you had to do, right? But
Yeah.
yeah, rating wise for me, I'm gonna give this a strong 4 to like 4.5 out of 5. Man, this is easily one of the best films I've seen so far this year. Though, this lived up to my expectations and more.
Yeah,
Michael B. Jordan, I want to see you make more films. Who knows? Maybe
yeah.
one day he might do an MCU film. Who knows? Who knows? Who
Yeah,
knows?
no, but that's the thing.
You know?
As I say, because of the horrible tragedy of Chadwick's death. Now, I think Majors and Jordan now is the pair now. Because if Chadwick was still alive, Jordan and him would have been was planning to do a lot of movies with Coogler, and they had a bunch of ideas that would have been outside of the comic stuff now. But Jordan and Majors, they have really good chemistry. They really bounce off each other well, and I was really happy to see a lot of that. That was great, Jordan. Fantastic.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Indeed, indeed. So yes, folks. If you enjoyed the first two films, you will absolutely love this. If you just love, if you've been enjoying the Rocky series as a whole, yeah, you
Right.
you will absolutely enjoy this. But
Yeah.
again, I can imagine some people being disappointed that Sylvester Stallone is not in it. But I like, nah, like his
Nah,
story is
I don't
done.
have a
Like
problem
it's
with that. Yeah,
done. It
exactly.
ended beautifully in the second one.
Right.
Yeah, pass the torch, right? That essentially is, yeah, the big team of this movie here, just passing the torch, right? And that's all I have
Exactly.
to say. But yeah, Ricardo, your final thoughts are rated.
Yeah, no, as I said, not as good as the first one, but for the better than the second one, still pretty good. Great outing for Michael B. Jordan. I didn't expect him to be because I was really worried about it. Like, wait, first director, he's actor, and he had to do a lot of he had to spin a lot of plates with this, right? He was in it. He had to do the fighting and direct. So I was like, wow, that's a lot to work with and whatnot now. So I was worried about it, but you end up pulling it off for the most part, and I dug it. Some flubs in the scripting for the most part. I really thought the fighting. I get why he made the decision to do the fighting the way he did, but it didn't work as good as the previous films, in my humble opinion. And I felt he should have balanced the realism with the anime stuff. It too much on the anime side of things. That's all I'll see. Even though I still enjoyed. Look, I like Hajime no Ippo. It's a great anime, right? But yeah, it was a little on the clumsy end in that sense, but still good, right? Still pretty good for what it is. Yeah, overall, I'm rating. Yeah, like an 8. We're closer to a 7 to be honest. But I really, really, really felt a great first outing for a thing. Hopefully, yeah, Creed 4. I don't know what they're gonna do with it, but hopefully it's not a goofy bullshit, right? Like Rocky 4. So we're gonna be good. Yeah, it's solid outing. Enjoyed it, but still pretty good. That's it.